Anything.
Okay. Rainn Wilson from the Rocker. I said that loud. You're
Scott Hornsby from fanboy.com.
Oh, bigfanboy.com.
Bigfanboy.com.
That's right.
And you are a big fanboy.
I am a big fanboy. I have been my whole life.
And I'm a big fan of yours.
Well, this was a lot of fun. I got to see this last night.
Cool.
And the audience just went nuts. I mean, it's got to be very gratifying to have one of those movies that people react so well to. And
Yeah.
it looked like so much fun to make.
It was a blast to make. It's a really, it's a fun for the whole family film. I think it's kind of an old-fashioned, I would almost say like John Hughes type film. You know, it's like, it's kind of for teenagers, but adults will love it too. And it's just kind of fun and sweet. It's got a nice heart to it. Not terribly edgy, but even though you get to see my butt crack.
That's right. A lot of your butt crack.
A lot of it, yeah. Yeah.
A lot of nods in here to 1980s hair metal bands.
Right on.
Were you a hair metal fan when you were younger?
I have to say I was not a hair metal fan. I have to make this admission that, no, I started listening to The Clash and Elvis Costello in the early 80s, and by the time hair metal hit, although I was a classic rock fan, I loved, early Aerosmith, Queen, AC/DC, but, and then I went off more on the punk new wave, and the music got pretty silly back then, It was pretty silly, the poodle haircuts and a lot of makeup and the glittery spandex.
Well, and you definitely captured the essence of 1980s hair metal drummer, like just ridiculous facial expressions.
Yeah.
Really, playing to the crowd.
Yeah.
Now, I last night in the Q&A, you were mentioning how you just watched a lot of YouTube videos, but I have to believe you did a lot of studying on that, because some of that stuff you're doing in the film, you had to really look into that pretty heavily.
Well, a couple of things. Number one, the whole thing with the faces when drumming.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about the faces. Everyone's like, oh, those faces you're making are hysterical. It's like, I didn't even think I was making any faces. It is hard to drum and not make a face. If you're really into drumming and you're drumming, it's hard to look cool as a cucumber. It's just, because you're drumming, you're there, you're listening, you're rocking out, you're getting into it, you have to make big, absurd facial expressions. Yeah. And, my drum coach, this guy Stuart Johnson, he was in this tiny, defunct, backwater heavy metal band called Spanky Lee, based in the Louisville, Kentucky area.
Nice.
And he had the experience, he was there for heavy metal, man, and he knew about it, and we worked a lot on that whole aspect. So I trained with a master.
Yeah.
He was like Yoda of heavy metal drum coaches.
Now, you got a couple films under your belt. How do you like working on films as opposed to working on something like The Office, doing a weekly TV show? What's more fun, doing theatrical movies?
Well, they're very, very different experiences. There's something really comforting about the TV show, because we've done 70-some episodes at this point. You show up every week and you're playing the same character, and they may throw different things at you, but you're essentially doing the same thing. Dwight is kissing Michael's ass or fighting with Jim or whatever he's doing. When you do a movie, it's a very intense period of 2 to 4 months or so where you are focusing on this one world, and you've got your character and you chart out where he starts, what he goes through, what his conflicts, where he ends up. And then you're shooting it all out of sequence. So you've got to really look at the big puzzle on the board before you kind of take it apart. And it's a much more intense experience, and it's very challenging, but I like doing them both.
Now, a lot of times when you're coming from kind of a background of doing a lot of improv type of acting and everything, how much of you as an actor, Rainn Wilson, is in Fish, in Rocker?
I like that sound effect.
It is good. Yeah.
It's good, right?
Bottle it and sell it.
Yeah, I don't know. I try and personalize all my characters and just try and bring some of myself to it, but I don't know what exactly. I mean, my body, certainly, that glorious specimen of manhood
of you
is me. It's all me, baby. And so there's that. But Yeah, I don't know. I bring as much of myself as I can. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Actually, my last question is related to the body thing. Was it hard kind of getting past that whole comfort zone of being able to be nude on film and knowing that your butt crack was going to be on a giant screen for everybody to see?
I have no problems getting naked for comedy.
Awesome.
So if it's for a laugh and a good time, I have no shame, and I will let it all hang out. But most importantly, can I do the new jingle for your website?
Absolutely.
Here we go.
Yeah.
5, 6, 7, 8. Bigfanboy.com.
That is Rainn Wilson and the Rocker. Go check it out on Mark Walters. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. You're awesome. Thank you.